Surprise, you've already started. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, welcome. Hey, hi, how are you? I have a tea. We are a homeschooling family of 4. We're in our 7th year of homeschooling. We are halfway through for the 2023-2024 school year. I have a 6th grader and a 2nd grader. Today, we're gonna start it. I know, you're gonna hate me. Let's start planning for the 2024-2025 school year. Here we go. Before we go any further, guys, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. It is not too early to start planning. 1, it is never too early to start planning. 2, I did that whole series on free available resources, secular resources, and it's got me itching to plan. I think part of that is maybe, I don't know, I'm feeling a little burnt outy this year. Like, we've got stuff coming down the pipes. I don't know, but I'm ready to plan. Not to mention, this is the time that we genuinely start planning. I know, and whether you agree with me or not, I hate to break it to you, you've already started it too. Do you know how I know that? Because this, being halfway through the year and following a break, is the time when we all evaluate. It is just inherent, it is natural, it is in our bones. So what goals can we make? What things do we want to achieve? Where are we currently? What have we done? And you, halfway through the school year, believe it or not, already know what is working for you and what is not. And that, my friends, is the first step in the planning process, is evaluating where you're at, what you're using, and how it is or is not working for you. I always like to include this as my first step of planning because, and there are a few other things that you can do, right? You need to know if you're starting out, that's like a different level of planning. But if you've already started, this is going into the next year of planning. I do have a starting out video. I will link it right up here on where to start, okay? So that's for all of you if you've never done this before. This video, the target audience is going to be those of us who are halfway through a homeschool year and going to start on the next year, okay? So I do love always to start, and I don't think that enough people discuss the importance of evaluating what you are using when it comes to it, because you really need to sit with it a minute and evaluate. Did it work for you as the teacher? What worked? What was it specifically that did work? What was it specifically that did not? And you need to sit and evaluate if it worked for your schedule, for your learner, for your learner's style. Because if it checks all of those boxes, move along. You don't need me. You don't need me to tell you it's great. If it doesn't, I want you to start thinking about pinpointing what specifically in that piece did not work. I'm going to give you an example. For example, we have been using Discover Science this year. It was, I got this 6th grade as a review item as part of the Timberdoodle blog team. And first glance, loved it. Loved it so much, I went ahead and bought the 2nd grade level. After that, was finally able to find the information that let me know that they were more neutral in their publication than secular, which for the most part I am fine with, I can allow, I can let things be that way, and that's fine with me. But when it does come to science, I prefer that companies are just a bit more clear about that, because it is very important. It is very important, and it is important to me to be able to give you an accurate and well thought review of it. Now, everybody knew, full disclosure, all of these things. None of this is new information. In beginning to use the Discover Science, in beginning to use it, 2 books for the kids. So one is like the first 32 to 36 weeks, depending on the level. And then the next one is the rest of it. 70 some odd lessons per book. In the actual use of this, it has not served us well. And I can tell you why. Why? Is because we have never and are not, and probably will never again, be textbook-based science. It does not serve us well. It is not the best way that either of my learners learn, and it is not the best way for me to teach it, because I don't want to just read from the thing, fill out the questions. For me, that is not what science is. So for my learners, that is not how they learn best. I feel like I can even pinpoint to you the situations where this could be better, and I have tweaked it. So I had this question recently, and it was what do you do? What do you do if it's not working for your kid? How do you know when to quit? Quit something. I am a huge fan of getting a piece and using it the way that suits you best. And I've done this, I am not kidding, probably, I can't think of a single thing that I have not done this with, a single curriculum piece that has come into our home. Because it is not going to be perfect out of the package for everyone, just like a tailored suit is gonna fit better, okay? It just is. It's tailor versus rack. That's exactly what it is. And we are a tailor-made education in our homeschool, okay? So that's what it is. A rack education is what they get at the brick and mortar down the street. We are tailor-made. That is the best analogy that I can give you on that. Oh, that's a good video idea. I'm gonna have to do that. Ooh, I need to write that down. One second. This is what happens when I get an idea. Okay, so what I am saying to you is that every single piece that has come into our home is mass produced for a large audience. It's gonna work for the most amount of people the most way. Again, just like the public school system. However, that is not best for us, for me to teach, for them to learn. And so what I do immediately is I start identifying, how will we use this? What will we do? How will this work best for us? And if I can pinpoint it and tweak that thing and it is still working for us, green light, it's a go. If I can figure out or pinpoint what is working against us, because that is the deal. If there's something that's not working for you, that is a very different conversation than something is working against you. If it's working against you, you need to quit. For example, in our Discover Science, we do already, and we have already been using, we've been watching the Crash Course Biology series, the new one that's come out, and we have been utilizing the Khan Academy Biology for middle school as a family. We're doing these as group subjects. Then each child has their Discover Science level on their own, which, believe it or not, a lot of the topics, and I think it's because it's a spiral method, they'll cover almost all of the same things, just at different times. One, a problem with that is that's a lot. Two, that's a lot of mom. So we are reading, for the most part, my big kid can operate independently, but I'm having to read every single page with my little kid, and then we're going through them. So it is just one, a lot. If it were our only science, I might have a very different opinion. But I like doing science together. And again, these are covering the same things, just not at the same times. I like doing science together. We don't love a textbook approach. If I think about it genuinely, we rarely use a textbook approach ever. A traditional textbook approach, almost never. And it's not even something like with Michael K. Thompson where we read a chapter, I read it aloud, and then we work through the things together. It's still very a different feel than that. So I have identified, I've found ways to tweak it, and the ways that we're tweaking it is that I am no longer making them do every single little activity in the book. We are, and I never did, to be honest with you. When it came in, I was like, okay. I mapped out how long it was going to take. It was going to take, I needed to do 2 lessons a week, and then we would do experiments either with the other programs or as they came along and were fun and we could do together. Not every single one, every single time. It's not a thing. We're not doing that. So that was the first tweak. The next tweak that I've made over the Christmas break going back into this is that we will only be doing the show it, at the end, like the multiple choice things. I'm not making them go through and fill every single thing out. So it's basically just reading. It's just more information, and it is reinforcing all of the same things for both of them and all of the same things that we are learning in our other courses. However, going forward, and this is where we're at, cycling back, the first step of planning is evaluating, and no, we're not taking this into next year. It's just not. We might finish it. We'll probably finish it just because I've bought it and I paid for it, and it's not necessarily working against us. However, If I were doing it the way it's prescribed, I can see that it would absolutely be the thief of joy and it would be a downfall in our homeschool and everyone would be miserable and hate it. So there's that. The first step of planning is to evaluate what you are currently doing. The next step is going to be researching once you've pinpointed what those things are. For me, textbook. I am not looking for a textbook science. I know that, okay? So then we're going to start researching on what's next, what's best for next year, how we're rolling forward in that. And I will, as I do every year, come here and give you all of the planning videos. Again, if you want to find them, I'm sure that you can find them from last year and the year before and the year before that, because I share them every year. So let me just give you a very brief rundown of how this is going to go. In about January, February, you start evaluating what you're currently using. Then February, March, you're going to need to start researching, which I will have my end of year Timberdoodle kit reviews going up in March, because in April, I like to start figuring out what I'm buying and making those purchases. I know it's crazy, but I like to start making purchases in April because I've done my research. I feel good. There's a lot of sales going on. That's a good time for me. The new Timberdoodle kits are released because I like to get my stuff in May. We do take a pretty traditional summer break. So if I'm getting my stuff in May, I set it aside until July. I start planning, I start prepping, I start figuring out our flows, our weeks, our year schedule, all of that. And that is my timeline, because then we are blowing and going in August. So that is what I'm about to take you on. So be sure to look out for that. Clearly, I think that will be at least one planning video every month from now until August, probably more. Let me know what you want to see. I'm giving you that opportunity now. You want to see both kids together, one kid, all 6th grade, all 2nd grade, or all by subject language arts, all by full-time planning in one video. I map out the week, the year, the week, the day. Let me know how you want to see this, and I will do my best to make that happen. So I wanted to come on because now it is time. We need to start the planning process, and I don't want you to be shocked or be like, wait, what? People start that early? Yes, and believe it or not, you already have. So guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up. And as always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. Let me know how you want to see these planning videos go, and I will do my best to make it happen.